Hello, hello. Welcome everyone back to another Facebook Live. It has been a minute, but I'm back. I am back. The bitch is back. Happy Friday. Hi. If you are watching the replay of this, if you are here watching with me on YouTube, or if you're watching the replay over on Facebook as well, feel free to fast forward the first minute because I'm just going to say hello to everyone as they hop on. Hello, Heather. Hello, Kelly. Hi, Joy. Hi. How are you today? Hi, Jessie. Jessie, you're like my VIP, my MVP, #1 fan. I love you so much. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. So, hello, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here. Hi, Angie. Hello, Brooke. Hi. The most beautiful group. I'm going to share this over in my free Facebook group. If you're not hanging out there, Jessie, I'm so sorry, but no boys allowed. But if you guys go to Millennial Business Babes Unfiltered, that is my free Facebook community for anyone. If you are a business owner or a woman, really just wanting to talk about all the things. Like today, I'm going to talk about all the things. I have like 4 different things I want to mention. But I learned yesterday that I actually do best when I just riff on live video based on like who I am at my core is how I operate best. I'm going to share this in the group and we're just going to get started. Hello, Valerie. Hi, Sheena. Hello, Lashley. Hi. How is everyone feeling on this freaking Friday morning? How are you today? I'm so freaking excited to be here with you. Hi, Dusty. Welcome. So I have so many things I want to talk about. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I have not been on Facebook Live in a minute because I've been really exhausted. I've been really tired. Although I love what I do, what I have learned, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of human design, but based on my human design type, as a projector, I actually get very tired very easily. And so what I have noticed is that I'm shifting things in the way that I structure my business, in the way that I run my business, in the way I schedule my day, in the way I schedule my routine, in the way that I am showing up, in the way that I am doing. I am being very, very mindful of my energy, my vitality, my vibrancy. I think that it is so important. Consistency, yes, builds a brand. Consistency in showing up, consistency in being there and being visible and being seen. And if you have the energy for that, that's amazing. But I think that for me, I've been building a business online, different businesses for almost 5 years. If you go back all the way, it's crazy. And so I have built this really solid foundation of consistency. And now it's finding, okay, I've established consistency. What does longevity and sustainability look like moving forward? What does it look like for me to practice what I preach and to show up and be inspiring and empower and teach and do the things and hold the space and paint the vision and do these things that I am so passionate about, the things I was put on this earth to do, while still taking care of me, while still having myself, while still having a life, while still having my relationship, while still having the sex, while still doing the things. Like my life is just as important, if not more important than my business, right? Because it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you're falling apart, the money doesn't matter. If your body is giving out, but you're still doing all the things, but your body is crumbling beneath you, you can't live out your purpose. So something I've learned and I've been so focused on embodying so that I can teach it is really being mindful of my energy, really being mindful of my vitality, my vibrancy, my energy, knowing that, yes, I love to serve and I will always be in some sort of service-based business. I will always be, I hope to always be a coach of some kind, right? But I have to come first. And I was getting to a point where I was putting my to-do lists or even my clients who I adore or people that wanted to work with me, or I was putting things over here first rather than putting myself first because I was wanting to make sure I was taking care of everybody. But I can't take care of everybody if I can't take care of myself. So that's why yours as well, if you're in some sort of service-based business, your vitality, your energy, your vibrancy, your well-being has to come first. You can't serve the humans if you can't serve yourself, right? So that is what I've been playing around with is like, how do I still do the things and still show up and share what I'm passionate about? But I also make sure that I am taken care of. I am whole and complete and serve from that space versus serving from a space of lack or scarcity or fear of, well, if I don't show up, it's all going to fall to shit. It's not. unless that becomes a pattern, then yes. But really check yourself. Where am I falling apart? Where am I not able to show up fully because I'm exhausted and I'm burnt out and I'm tired? Because I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how much money you make. I make really beautiful money, and I'm so grateful for it. And I have worked to get here, and I've done so much work on myself to get here. But money can't, it can kind of buy health, I guess, because you can buy supplements and gym memberships and go to yoga and do the things. Yeah. But it can't buy you a new body if your body falls apart. Can't buy you a new soul if your soul burns out because you're burnt out, right? So just make sure you're taking care of yourself. That is one of the things I wanted to talk about. Hello, everyone just hopping on. Please say hello below. I would love to know who is here, who is watching. Lindley says, hi, Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Welcome, welcome. Lindley says, this has been the season of tired. What do we got to shift? Because it doesn't have to be that way. It's that moment of awareness, right, Lindley, right? I know for me, like, I catch myself, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And I used to be really afraid to say that because, like, but I love what I do. Because I do love what I do. And I love the humans I get to work with. I'm freaking obsessed with my business. However, the tired was because I was letting that happen. So where do you need to take the power back and stop saying like, oh, I'm just tired. That's just how it is, right? It almost becomes normal to be tired, to be exhausted, to be burnt out, to be fatigued. We're just like, oh, that's just normal. That's just how it is. And we always say it like, oh, well, it's just, that's adulting. That's what being an adult is all about. But like, I call effing bullshit on that. It's not. There are people out there that are thriving, living their best lives, running the most profitable businesses, who actually feel energized when they wake up in the morning, who feel energized throughout their day, who go to bed feeling fulfilled and not running on E. So if we stay in that perpetual tired stage, that's our own fault. And that is what we're doing. Tammy says badge of honor. Exactly. We're like wearing it like, well, exhausted equals I'm worthy. Exhausted equals I'm enough. Exhausted means I gave it all I had and it's all good. Doesn't matter what the results are because like I can say that like I am worthy because of it. But what if you flip the script and rewrite the story saying that I actually don't have to burn myself out in order to be successful. I can actually be successful just because I choose to be successful. Amanda Francis recently did a podcast episode on it that was amazing about like, you don't need a victim story to be successful. Struggle doesn't have to be a part of being successful. You can actually be really effing successful and in alignment with who you are and how you were designed and who you were created to be and in alignment, and you can be really effing successful. I promise you that. I promise you. I promise you. Let's see. Heather says, I have that ring and it's one of my favorites. Which one? Which one? All the rings. I wear them all the time. I feel naked without my rings. I feel weird without them. And I want more, but I'm like, I don't know what other fingers to put them on, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Trisha says, I'm a projector too. Hey, hey, fellow projector. I love that so much. Tammy says, you have to put yourself first no matter what, regardless of circumstances. Other people need you, but you need you 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. So as I have been figuring out, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that it's been like a crazy roller coaster of growth in my business. Right hand pointer. My right, this one, Pandora. This is from Pandora. This one is from Nina Baronato. I think that's how you say it, Baronato. She's on Instagram. She's a local jewelry maker. She makes it all herself in her little studio in Austin, Texas. I'm obsessed. These rings are from Baracle, I want to say, my wedding rings. It's like a stack of 3. This is from, like, this is the Irish one. I don't remember what it's called. My husband's Irish, but maybe you guys can tell me what this is called. It's something, but I got it at like the state fair, Minnesota State Fair a couple years back. And then this one is from a conference I went to. I don't remember her name. That's not good. I don't remember. Okay, anyway, so I love it. I love these rings. 100% I wear them every single day. Hi, Ruby. Welcome, welcome. And Carrie, hello, hello. So what was I saying? Oh, okay. So if you guys have been following along in the growth of my business, things have been exploding in the most beautiful way. Like, I am so insanely grateful. Yes, I've had my challenges. Yes, I've had my many mistakes, many failures, many flops. It's all good. I actually have some really juicy posts and things I want to share with you next week of just some some things about like missed goals and, now what, and talking about the lessons that I've learned and everything. But last month was like my biggest month ever. It was insane. I was so close to hitting my first 20K month. I self-sabotaged my way out of it, which I'll tell you about in a post, because that's not the point of this video. But basically, so I almost hit my 20K for the month. And like, I just remember growing up and all I ever wanted to do was hit 10K a month. I was like, 10K, like, I just want to hit 6 figures. I was so like, that is what I dreamt of. Like, to me in my head, that was like, this equals success and then I'm good. And then you get to 10K a month and you're like, oh my God, the possibility and potentiality opens up in a whole new light. And you're like rejuvenated in the most amazing way. And so now it's like, okay, how can I help more people? How can I create more wealth, not only for myself, but for others? And we can all rise together and it can be insane. And like, why would I stop at 10K when I'm possibly, capable of so much more? And so that's kind of what I'm playing with right now. So last month was insane. But I realized, okay, cool. So now I'm making this money, this wealth, right? But where is the sustainability and the longevity of it? Because what got me here won't get me there. For you, wherever you're at in your business or your life, what got you here is not going to get you there. Things are constantly shifting and evolving. Strategy changes, embodiment changes, energy changes, beliefs shift, stories shift, whatever. It's all shifting and things all of the time, right? And so I started really thinking about this idea of the exhaustion. Like, okay, so I'm exhausted all the time. Cool. So what do I believe will get me to 20K consistently and beyond? Because what's happening right now is not going to get me there. And that's when I allowed curiosity to take the reins. Where I started to ask myself, like, okay, Olivia, be honest with yourself. Be honest. Shannon! My BFF. Forever, Shannon. If you guys have not listened to today's cocktail conversations on Soul on the Raw podcast, you guys, our cocktail conversations make me cry laughing every Friday. I'm just going to tell you, today's episode, we were a little buzzed for, if I'm being honest, when we recorded it a couple weeks ago. So you need to listen. That being said, okay, so I asked myself, right? And I want you to get really freaking honest with yourself right now, okay? I want you to ask yourself, what's not working? What is not working? Is it how you feel? Is it something in your business, something that you're doing? Is it a story that you keep telling yourself? Is it how, like for me, I literally told myself, like, I'm exhausted and I can't keep doing this to myself. There's only so much coffee I can drink in a day. Like, this is not healthy anymore, So be really honest with yourself. When you're going to new levels, you need to have these tough, like, come to Jesus moments with yourself of like, listen, girl, this isn't working. It's like my internal system, my internal GPS, my intuition is like, beep, 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 beep. This is not working. And I was like, okay, what needs to shift? So of course I'm working with my coach on things and we're digging into things, but I started to have this curiosity about something called human design. And I started to just start to play around with it and just started to like research it. I started to think about it more and I started to like kind of put the feelers out about it. And I was just like, I was curious. And when you're wondering about things and you're wondering what's next and you're wondering what's going to get you to that next level, it's really important to ask yourself, what am I curious about? What's drawing me in? What's calling me? What's like starting to pique my interest and pique my curiosity? And I'm going, ooh, that's interesting. Right? And you're almost passionate about it in a way of like, it's new and it's exciting. And of course, if you're doing this all the time and you're just doing all the new things, like, what are you avoiding? But like, that's a whole nother conversation. So in this, I was like, okay, like I've gotten here and what got me here won't get me there. So what comes next? What's the missing link? So I write it all down and like, here's what's not working. And one of the major things is like, I'm exhausted and I felt scared to say it because I see all my coach friends, right? Because we go into comparison and all my coach friends have twice the clients I have, like 2 times the amount of clients I have. They're showing up on social media every 5 seconds. They're doing all of the things. And they're in this like, oh my God, life is amazing. I love it. Life is so good. And they're like, I've got all this energy and life is amazing. And I want more clients and more things. And I'm over here and I'm getting like real with myself, but I'm scared to be real with them, which is silly because they're my friends. But I'm like, I can't. I literally can't. Like, I can't take on more. Like, I can maybe do 2 calls a day max, maybe 3. And that's it. And I'm like, tap me out. Like, I love it. I love it. I live for my clients. But the days where I was having too many calls, I wanted to cry. Like, I literally just didn't have it in me. And I started to think that something was wrong with me. Like, oh my God, something's wrong. Something's wrong with me. I'm failing. What's wrong? Like, I'm exhausted. What's going on? And I started to think, and I do think there's things like adrenal fatigue. I definitely am seeing a functional medicine doctor to like figure out there's something hormonally. But the other thing was I started to like, it dropped in my lap, human design. And it was so interesting about the meaning of it all was like how we are here on this planet, how we were designed, how we were created for our energy, like our output and our input and our creation and all these things of our energy. Right? It's all about really removing resistance and really tapping into like what we're naturally good at, our strengths, the different pieces of us that uniquely make us, like how we're wired. And so I really started to research like, okay, what does this look like? And when I got on, I got on this call with this coach yesterday, and I still have my coach as well because I adore her. And then I have this coach who's more specialized in human design. And I had a reading and I started to like learn more about who I am and how I'm wired. I realized that as a projector, I don't have my own energy system. So therefore, creating energy is really difficult for me. And so when I'm saying like I can do 2 or 3 calls and then I'm like tapped, like I'm maxed, and like I love it when I'm in it, and then I need to like be by myself for a while, it's literally because of how I'm wired. As a projector, I am only supposed to work like 2-3 hours a day. And that doesn't mean like not giving it my all, and it's not a cop-out. It literally is how my energy is designed, to work 2 to 3 hours a day, give that my all, and then the rest of the day is spent on filling myself up, on protecting my energy, of creating energy, of doing things that light me up, of being excited and riffing on random things that I'm passionate about, like right now, like things that light me up. Following that curiosity, following that passion, following the things that I'm interested in, following the things that I'm like, ooh, this is exciting, and talking about that. And when I heard that, I was liberated because I felt this like physical weight lift off my shoulders of like, oh my God, there's other ways. There's other ways of running a business, of running your life, of operating, of showing up, of different rules. And yesterday I posted for you guys about what are the 3 rules for your success in your business. And no one replied. I mean, Sadie replied, which I love. I need to comment back. But no one else replied. But like everyone was loving my rules that I wrote. I wrote my top 3 rules yesterday. Did you guys see it? And I posted that, and like, everyone's loving that. And everyone on Instagram was like, these are the best rules ever. But no one's writing theirs. So I want to ask you, what are your rules for success in your business? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What are you curious about that you're avoiding because it's new and it scares you, but you're curious about it? Or what is it that you're feeling called to, but you're afraid, so you're avoiding it and you're resisting it when really it's your soul calling you into different things? For example, I remember when I was in network marketing way back when, it feels like a whole different lifetime ago. Mary says, I'm a pure generator. Oh, I love my generators. You guys give life to the projectors who then pour back into you. I am obsessed with that. Hi, Sabina. Hello, Logan. Welcome, welcome. Listen to your GPS. Amazing. Tammy says the podcast totally freaking rocks. I absolutely adore you two together. We love you so much. As I was listening this morning, I was thinking to myself, I really need to message Liv and tell her how in love I am with the vibe of the podcast. Thank you. That means so much to us. We love cocktail conversations and our podcast guest interviews as well. What was I saying? Curiosity. I got distracted. Oh, you make the rules. Okay. So deciding that you get to make the rules of what success looks like in your business. So if you're choosing to believe that you have to go live every single day for the rest of your life and that equates to success, then that is what is going to be true for you in your business. Amazing. For me, I choose to believe that I show up when I am inspired. I show up when I'm fired up. I show up when I'm creative. I show up when I'm abundant. I show up when I'm overflowing. I show up when I'm just feeling like this fuel. Like right now, I have like 2 notes over here. And I was like, I'm just going to riff because I am fired up about all the things. I have so much to say, and I'm going to trust that divine guidance is going to come through, and it's going to be channeled through me, and it's going to be exactly what needs to be heard today. But I don't force it. I'm not forcing it based on someone else's definition of success, based on someone else's definition of the rules, of someone else's definition of what I have to do in order to be successful. You write the rules for your life, for your business, for success, for the things. So even with my clients, I walk them through a process of how to build a profitable business. That's the basis of what I do. I help people make money in a way that feels really effing good for them. I help them reignite passion in their relationship. I help them have more sex. I help them have this pure embodiment of their femininity and their sensuality and the pleasure that is their birthright. That is what I do as a foundation. But I don't have a here's your 10-step process to get you there. Go get it. I wish that I could, but I can't. Because what got me to almost 20K a month and will get me to 20K months and beyond, and that will become consistent, isn't going to get you to 20K because we're two different humans designed two different ways with two different rules for success, with two different ways in which we will get to where we want to go. We have two different roadmaps. So my job as the coach is to create the container for you, hold the space for you, show up, pull things out of you based on what you're bringing to the conversation, and help guide you to where you're meant to go in your own way. I have different clients who are totally different humans who are getting to where they want to go in totally different ways. It's not up to me to say, here's what you're going to go do. It's me asking the questions, mirroring back to you what you're bringing, and us working through it together. Is this making sense? Sabina says, heck yes. Amazing. Hi, Paige. Welcome, welcome. And Jacqueline, hello. Heather is a projector as well. Hey, girl, hey. Projectors. So basically, the whole point of this is being, well, there's like 8 points. So if you're just hopping on, you need to watch the replay because there's a million things that we're talking about. But it's really important to make sure that you remember that you write the rules for success. And whatever you are believing to be true and what you're showing up and the energy that you're bringing to the things that you're doing, that is ultimately what is determining what is true for you. So I was talking about an example. That's what I was talking about. Bing. If it's important, it comes back to me. So this being said, things change, things evolve, right? Trust your soul's calling, trust your intuition. The reason I'm saying this is because when I was back in network marketing, which feels like a whole lifetime ago, and I was transitioning into what was next for me, I ignored it for a hell of a long time because I was terrified to admit it. I was terrified to admit out loud to other humans that I was feeling called into something different and wanted to leave network marketing. And I was terrified. This was almost 2 years ago now. Terrified. Actually, it was 2 years ago, November 2016. It's November 2018. Hello. So I left and I was feeling like leaving and I was terrified and I ignored it and I resisted it. I was curious. So I was working with a coach. I was taking programs. I was plugging myself into like different things that I was curious about. People who were where I wanted to be. Secretly, I was working with them. And then I finally came out about it because I couldn't ignore it any longer. Like the voice just got louder and louder and louder and louder in my heart and my soul and my head, where it was like, you aren't happy here anymore. There's something different for you. There's something more for you. Listen to me. And so I ended up sharing it with a friend and she was like, oh my God, I feel the same way. I ended up telling Shannon and she was like, oh my God, I feel the same way. And Shannon and I became best friends. I started a business with the other girl that I was like, we both felt the same way. And we left network marketing and we went into what we were called into next. And I have allowed that intuitive guidance, that curiosity to continuously lead me into my next evolution of myself. I don't know where I will be a year from now. I don't know where I'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, let alone 20 years from now. Because truthfully, it's unfolding exactly as it's meant to. And it's my job to listen, to be open, to create spaciousness in my life so that I can hear these intuitive downloads and trust them and let that guide the way. And so what I realized is I had a lot of reprogramming to do because I had always been taught this is the way. And then I started to play around with like, what if other things are possible? What if other things are possible? What if I could show up on live once a week instead of every single day and hit people in the heart with exactly what they needed to hear rather than showing up every day completely exhausted and wiped and just trying to talk out of my ass. It's 12:22. Hey. just so that I can cross it off of my to-do list. What if I never have to do a fucking follow-up for the rest of my life to be successful? And people that are meant to work with me will know, and they will come back. I don't have to put them on a list to follow up in 7 days or the next time I run the program, that the right people always find me because I am visible, I am seen, and I am here. And I know that. And I have seen that to be true. I have not sent a follow-up since network marketing. I had a beautiful consultation the other day with this girl, and I believe we will work together. I know it. She literally said it on the call. And the old me would have reached out the next day like, hey, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do this. You said you were going to do this. Let's do this. You ready? Did you forget about me? Because they don't forget. If you want to work with someone you know, and you freaking go find them, they don't have to like pop in every now and again to say, hey, yo, hey, we're here. Do you believe that too? I mean, like, right? Like, what are your rules for success? That's one of the rules for me. I don't do that. Some people do, and that feels really good for them. And I give you all the credit. I love you. Get it done. That is amazing for you. And I love it. And that's totally cool. But for me, that doesn't work because it doesn't feel good for me. So I started to play around with like, what are my rules? I run my business completely differently than my best friend Shannon does, than my best friend Autumn does. I run my business totally differently than they do. Because we're different humans with different designs, with different unique wiring, with different souls, with different intuitions, with different purposes. Yes, we have the same overall, like elevating all of womankind, absolutely, but we all do it a little bit differently. So where in your life are you blocking yourself from what you're curious about, or from what you're wondering, or from what might be possible because you're terrified of the unknown? And if we're terrified of the unknown, all that fear is shifting out of what if it all goes wrong into what if it all goes right, into what if this isn't for me, to what if this is for me. Fear and excitement have the same vibration. They're both up here. You can just shift it. What story are you telling yourself behind the fear that's causing you to feel the fear? Because fear can just as easily be excitement, right? Do you guys have any questions around this? Is this hitting home? Carrie says, you're speaking to my soul right now. I'm so afraid to admit to my 9-to-5 colleagues that I hate my job, and I'm so scared to leap out of it. So there's a couple different things, right? With leaving a 9-to-5, it is important that like, there's two different types of people, right? There's people that burn the boats, quit the job, leave, and they blow up, and they're super majorly successful because their back was against the wall. They burned the boats, and that like lit a fire under them to do what they feel called to do. Then there's the other side where we leave a 9-to-5 because we hate it. But then what ends up happening is that we actually are going into desperation mode because we got to pay the bills, and that energy does not bring in new clients. There's two different types of people. The burn the boats people, like my best friend Autumn, she's a burn the boat person. That works for her. I tried to burn the boats at different seasons of my business growth, and it didn't work for me. And so I had to be using my full-time job, change the vibe there where it's not that I hate it. It's that this is for a season, and this is fueling my business. This is fueling my passion. This is allowing me to pay the bills. This is funding my dream. This is funding my purpose because it's taking care of the bills while I'm building the business over here. And then one day I can quit the job and this will be booming, right? But for other people, they needed that like back up against the wall fire in order to build their business. So it's just checking yourself. What type of human are you, right? You need to pay your bills. For me, I was so grateful that when I did quit my job, when I wasn't making money a couple years ago, my husband was able to take care of the bills for certain seasons. There were certain seasons that I had a job, and then there were certain seasons where he was just taking care of the bills. And now my business is booming, and I don't worry about that, right? But it's just what kind of human are you? So there's a couple different things. So you can shift your energy around hating your full-time job. It's not, I mean, I would admit it to someone, which you did right here. So I love you. And I'm like honoring that in you. I'm so proud of you. Talking about it with your coach, talking about it with your friends, but then like shifting the energy of how you feel at that job, knowing that it's just for a season. This too shall pass, and have an exit strategy. Have an exit strategy. Don't just like show up and be like, this is funding my dream, and like making that okay, because then you're going to be comfortable there, but have an exit strategy, right? Heather says we need to connect. Yes, message me. I would love that. Ruby says, yes, fear can so easily shift into excitement. Exactly. So it's just asking yourself, How can I shift this fear? How can I get out of the like, oh my God, what if everything goes wrong? Into like, but what if it goes right? And putting our energy and our focus there, because all that fear is this like beep, 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 beep of our internal GPS saying, we don't know what to do here. Like, we've never been here before. This is really freaking scary. Slow down. You might get hurt. And it's us being like, it's okay. I got this. It's fine. If I get hurt, right? If I get burned, if I make a mistake, if I fall on my face, it's okay. I got this. I'm going to learn from it. Because if it's all happening for us, then what do we actually have to be afraid of? When you're trusting your intuition and you start to trust it, you start to prove to yourself that you're never led astray, that even the shittiest of times in life were always setting you up for a comeback. They were always setting you up for what was on the other side. They were always working for you, even when it felt like they weren't. The game completely changes. And I just had a client call today and we talked about this, about every single time. She was like, every time in my life ever that I have felt like shit was hitting the fan, that I felt like things were falling out from underneath me, it always was setting me up for something greater on the other side. And I said, check yourself with that. Prove to yourself in your brain that yes, it's okay, I'm safe here, because even though this is scary, or even though this is unknown, or even though this feels like life is falling apart, it's not. It's this or something better. It's setting me up for what is next, right? And the final thing I want to say, because then I was talking about curiosity leading the way, right? So just be open. Just all it is being open. People always ask me, well, how? And to my howers, the how is not yours to figure out. You just got to be open. You just have to be open. Literally open. When I was just like, I'm exhausted. This isn't working. I love what I do. I don't want to change what I'm doing. But the way that I'm doing it, the strategy within it, the schedule within it, something has to shift here. Something has to shift in order for this to be sustainable and scalable and to have a business for a really long time that is continuing to grow and expand without running me into the ground. Because I can't run a business if I can't take care of myself. I can't run a business if my marriage is falling apart. I got to figure out what's got to shift here and be honest with myself, be transparent with myself in that, right? Be transparent with you in that, and let curiosity lead the way. I honored it. I became aware of it. I was conscious of it. And I'm like, okay, boom, boom, boom. God, angel, source, universe, whoever's your jam. I'm ready for my next step. Bring it to me. And that's when like literally I started researching everything human design. And I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. It's a tool, okay? It's not like the Bible by any means, but it was a tool for me. And I was like, this makes so much sense. What can I pull from here that can get me to where I want to go and beyond? And something I can help my clients with as well, that I first have to embody. Because here's the kicker, okay? Here's the kicker, coaches out there. You don't just teach what you read or teach what you listen to on a podcast. You teach what you've embodied. You teach what you've experienced. Right? I see so often this happens, and I've been guilty of it, where you read something and you just share it and you just regurgitate it and you teach that thing that you just read in that book without giving credit to the book. When really it's all about absorbing, consuming something, being taught by someone, sitting with it, sifting through it, doing it, embodying it, taking messy action, doing the damn thing that you just learned, figuring out your style within it, your pieces within it, what works for you, what doesn't, what you believe to be true, what you don't, and then turning around and yes, teaching it, but always giving credit back where credit is due. I am who I am today because of the coaches that have gotten me here, because of the books that I've read, the podcasts I've listened to, the divine guidance that I've gotten, and who I've become in it all. It's not all me, ever. So be really, really aware of like, what am I teaching that I haven't yet embodied? And check yourself integrity-wise, because we can't just teach simply because we learned it. We teach based on what we've proven to be true and seen success with because we've embodied it. We are it. It is who we are. It's a piece of us. It's not just something we read somewhere that now we're going to like throw out there to teach. What do you need to embody that maybe, and I told one of my clients this today. She's saying like, okay, I'm like really into this feminine energy stuff. And I literally had a client that I talked to about this. I talk to my clients mostly. This is like one of the biggest things is they come to me super masculine and we really start to honor their feminine, both in their relationship and in themselves. And then that translates into business. And she was like, I'm feeling like all my clients are coming to me about this and I'm going through this in my own life. And I said, you're going through it because you're going to teach it one day. But first, you have to light the way. You have to embody it. You have to become that. You need to find your story and your experience within it, your way of which you will teach it based on what you do and the way you experience it. Embody it, and then you're going to teach it. And I kid you not, I've been working with a client for like 6 months now. And one of the first conversations we had, she was like, I feel like I'm going to teach this one day. I said, you probably are. Absolutely. You're going to teach it in your way. But first, you must go first and be on your journey with it. And I kid you not, it's been 6 months of her on this journey. And now she's creating behind the scenes a program that she's going to run based on her own experience and her own embodiment of it in her way. And it's freaking insanely powerful. So before I'm just going to like throw all this human design stuff at you and be like, here's all the things, I first have to go first. I have to learn it. I have to show myself that operating as a projector and working with a coach that's going to help me with that in addition to the coach I have, and combining the two and having the two support systems and seeing success in that, then I can say like, okay, cool. Now I can share more about this because I've embodied it. And I'm ready to share it with more people because I've seen such a game changer in my own life because of it. Like I have to share the things in my own way, right? Does that make sense? Heather says, yes, preach. You so get me, girl. I cannot wait to talk with you. I love this. I'm so happy you're loving this. Yay, yay. Lisa, this is literally everything I needed to hear today. Good, 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 good. I love that. See, I learned yesterday that like my mind and my throat are connected in my projector chart. So my throat and my mind are connected. So me preparing for a live actually does me a disservice because this just happens naturally versus some people are blocked there. And so planning their live actually serves them. And I was like, that is so interesting. I freaking love that. So it makes sense. So I was like, I'm going to go live because I'm feeling spicy. I'm feeling fiery. I have so many podcasts to record today. And I'm so excited about it. So if you are not following us on Soul in the Raw podcast, Cocktail Conversations comes out every Friday where we drink while we podcast and talk about all the things. Very similar to this, except there's alcohol involved. But you can also drink coffee or kombucha if you're sober. We have so many sober listeners, and we love you guys too. And we also have every Monday, we have a guest interview of an expert in some field. Lisa says, ooh, so interesting. I need to learn more about human design now. Yes, you need to go check out Paige Filliater. I don't know how to say her last name. That's really bad. Filliater. She does not pay me to say that, although if she wants to, hi, I would love that. But she's amazing, and I just had an intensive done with her yesterday, and now I get to work with her for 2 weeks, and we'll continue to work with her beyond because I just am super excited, while also working with my coach, Seline, who I adore as well. So that is what I wanted to share today. I wanted to talk kind of about all the things, give you guys kind of like an update of where I've been at. I've just been really focused on, which we talked so much about in the podcast today, about my energy, my vitality, my vibrancy, my well-being. And as much as I love what I do, I can't continue to sacrifice myself to take care of it and to take care of everybody else, because that doesn't serve me, but it also doesn't serve you, because you're not going to get me at my best, and you're not going to get your best results if I'm falling apart and like barely holding it together. Like as a projector, I empower other people. I show you what's possible. I can see what you can't see yet. And so I'm able to guide the way. I'm able to like illuminate what comes next with you and help you transform. But I can't do that if my energy is not there. You know, like I have to be really mindful of that. So just be mindful in your own life. I guess that's the whole point, as well as like an update. Where do you need to shift things? What's not working that you're pretending is working just simply because you're afraid to say it? And be honest with yourself. Be vulnerable with yourself. It's so freaking important to make sure that you are taking care of you and that you're honoring yourself, because you can build a booming business doing it a way that doesn't feel good. Yes, I believe that you can do that. Yes, I believe that you can make a lot of money and you can help a lot of people, but it won't be sustainable. And what's the breaking point, right? Eventually you'll hit a wall or something will happen where you just like can't do it anymore and things will start to fall out from beneath you. Trust me, I've been there. So catch yourself before that happens and just be honest with yourself. Be open with yourself about how you're feeling. Be honest with yourself about what's not working and seek support when things aren't working and when you're curious about something. Reach out to coaches or learn more about certain things that you're passionate and excited about. It's okay to have support. In fact, if you're a coach and you don't have a coach, check yourself integrity-wise. Now that's just something I believe to be true. I believe that I I can charge based on the extent of which I've invested. And I believe that like I will never ask you guys to do something I've never done. So therefore I always will have a coach forever and ever, because I feel like the support is next level. And as a coach myself, my job is to constantly expand and grow myself so that I can constantly help my clients expand and grow. And I just think that as a coach, if you don't have a coach, then why are people paying you to coach them? But again, that's just my like personal opinion. I think support and mentors are life-changing, and they have been for me. So I love you guys. That's what I have to say today. Thank you so much for listening. Lisa, let's see. I already said that. Heather says, what is it again? Can you provide a link to the other group? It's not a group. It's just called Human Design. And it's just a woman that I found on Facebook and was recommended to her by a couple of my girlfriends. And I just loved her and I'm super excited about her. So I'll share it below. But yeah, and I mean, and if you're curious about it, like research more. And if it's not your jam, cool. Like I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I think like, oh yeah. The cocktail hour, beautiful. Sorry, I'm all over the place. There's no group for it. It's called Soul in the Raw Podcast. You can go to soulintherawpodcast.com, and it's on iTunes and it's on Stitcher. And you can get both links on the website. Otherwise, you can message me and I can send you a direct link to the podcast as well. But it's so much fun. So much fun. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for honoring the sporadicness that was my brain over the last 40 minutes, but I hope that you were able to pull something from it. So many of you said that this was speaking right to you. So I believe that it was exactly what needed to be heard. And I trust that, and I own that, and I know that. And I'm just so excited for whatever comes next. I am so grateful and honored and just so happy to be here and to be in this space with you. And it's just such an honor. So I'm excited. I'm pumped for whatever's next. Like I always feel like on the edge of this like next level and on the edge of this like explosion, and I'm here for it. And I'm super pumped about it. What's my group name? My group name is called Millennial Business Babes Unfiltered. Millennial Business Babes Unfiltered. Yay. So I love you guys. Happy Friday. Do something fun today. Check yourself, do some journaling work this weekend, what's working, what's not. Some journaling work about what am I curious about that I've been ignoring, what am I passionate about. And listen, it could have nothing to do with business. I remember for a while I was like super passionate about certain supplements, and I'm not a health coach, but I just started like spending more time researching and becoming obsessed with what I was passionate about. And it just lit me up in a different way that then translated into my business, right? So for some of you, human design might be something you never bring into business, but you just might like researching it and learning about it. You know, like that's why I love cocktail conversations, because yeah, we dabble in business a little bit, like, and we talk about that like a little bit. I mean, for most of it, but we're also just like laughing and gabbing and having fun and drinking and having a good time. And I just know, like, for me, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I don't listen to a lot of business podcasts anymore. I listen to things that make me laugh and things that I can just like turn my brain off in, and things that I'm passionate about. So it's just kind of fun to switch things up a little bit and give you some freedom there. So I love you. I'm going to go and get prepped for these podcasts. Have the most amazing freaking day. If you have questions about anything we talked about today, feel free to shoot me a message. We can talk more about it there, or get a coaching consult booked if you wanted to learn more about coaching with me. I would love to chat with you more about that. But other than that, have the most fantastic freaking day. I love you. And I can't wait. If you guys like these riff on all the thing videos, let me know. Maybe I'll do more of these and more intense trainings. I don't know. We shall find out. So have the most amazing day, guys, for the 18th time. I will talk to you soon. See you later.